All right, welcome back. Here is our final assignment before our test. So we'll call this final practice. I'm going to put up a problem, and then what I'd like you to do is pause the video, do the problem, enter in the answer, and then play it to see the answer. All right, so the first one, I'm going to put up 3 problems. So number 1A, I would like you to solve for x in each of these. All right, go ahead and push pause, enter your answers in, and then we'll go over the answers in just a second. All right, let's take a look at the answers. So the first one looks like a trig problem. So we're going to go tangent of 30 degrees equals opposite, right? We go opposite to the opposite side over the adjacent side, which is 9. Multiply both sides by 9. And we get our answer. So let's double check with the calculator, or let's do the problem with the calculator. You have 5.19 or 5.20. If you didn't get that, make sure your calculator is in degree mode. So 5.20. All right, B. So I would think we've been doing a bunch of tangent problems, so that's the first thing I thought of. However, they never gave me an angle. So I'm going to take a step back and say, all right, it's not going to be tangent, but they do give me 2 of the sides. And they want to find the third side on a right triangle. This is actually a Pythagorean theorem problem. Now notice 13 is my longest side, so that's got to be all the way over here by itself. So we have x squared plus 25 equals 169, minus 25 from both sides. It's 144, and how nice. The square root of 144 is just 12. All right, next problem. Again, we're going to set up a tangent. So tangent of 50, opposite over adjacent, which is 7 over x. Now notice, opposite of the 50 is the 7. X is adjacent to the 50. We're going to multiply both sides by x. We're going to divide both sides by tangent of 50. And that's going to be 7 divided by the tangent of 50, which gives us 5.87. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at another problem. So we have our classic spinner problem. So let's go ahead and draw both spinners. Let's say Subway's having a new deal. All right, let's say if you spin a spinner, you get to have a turkey sandwich. If you land on this side, you get a ham sandwich. But you get a special deal because they have too many turkey and ham or something like that. So you spin another spinner. If you land on this side, it's going to cost you $6. And if you land on this side, this big chunk right here, which we'll say is 110 degrees, your sandwich is free. And then finally, if you land on this side, it's going to cost you $10. So that's your loser spot. All right. What I want to know is, what's the probability of getting a free turkey sandwich? All right, so what I'd like you to do, push pause, go in and figure out what you can, and then push play when you're ready. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and make an area model or a tree diagram. I'm going to do an area model in this case. So there are two things that could happen first. I could get a turkey sandwich or I could get a ham sandwich. Now on the outside, I'm going to list the probability. The probability of getting a turkey sandwich is 180 over 360, or it's just 1/2. The probability of getting a ham sandwich is also 180 over 360, which again is just 1/2. Now I've got to look at the spinners. This spinner is broken up a little bit funkier. I have several choices here. I have to pay either $16, $10, or free. So if I need to find the probability of each of those, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight this like that, and I'll do the probabilities in blue. So the probability of landing on the side with the 16 is going to be 1/2. Same reasoning, it's half of it's there. Now this is where it gets a little bit of funkier, because the probability of getting a free sandwich isn't one of those ones I could do in my head. There's 110 degrees out of a total of 360. So this is going to be 110 over 360. And I'm sure I could reduce that. 11 over 36, it'll reduce. But I'm going to keep it as 110 because I also don't know what this is. Well, if the whole thing is 180 and this is 110, this chunk right here has to be 180 minus 110, which is 70. So the probability of paying $10 is going to be 70 out of 360. If you don't like dealing with large numbers, go ahead and reduce those. All right. Now, I'm not interested in the whole table. I'm just interested in one section. I'm interested in a free turkey sandwich, which is this section right there. So I'm only going to do that one for you right now. So the probability I get a free turkey sandwich is going to be 1/2 times 110 over 360. So I'm going to get my calculator out. 110 over 360 times 0.5, or 1/2, is 0.15. So this is equal to 0.153. So I have a 15% chance of getting a free turkey sandwich. Not that good, because then I don't want to have to pay $10 either. So now we have an idea of how to figure out that probability. All right, number 3, the third one. This one I'm going to have you do a little drawing. It's going to look something like this. We'll put a little triangle inside of here. And I'm just going to go around this circle and label A, B, C, D, E. And I'm going to zoom in because this is going to be hard to see. Okay, apparently I'm not zooming in any more than that. F, G, H, I, J. I'm going to give you 2 of the angle measurements. So I will give you, let's say, the measure of angle C is equal to, give you a nice number, how about 50? And we'll also give you the measure of angle E. We'll give you 40 for that. All right, so obviously this is not drawn to scale. I just made up some numbers. But let's go ahead and see if we could figure out what all the letters are. So go in and draw this, put in the information that you have, and then see if you could find out some additional information. And I will tell you one more piece. Let's make these 2 lines parallel, because that'll make life a whole lot easier. All right, so hopefully you entered in your numbers. Let's go in and check to see if you're right. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is put in the numbers that were given. So this is 50, and this is 40. Well, what I notice right now is I'm going to start looking for straight lines. So right away, I have a straight line here. So B and E have to add up to 180 because they're supplementary. They're a linear pair. All right, so I know that angle B, the measure of angle B, equals 180 minus 40 is 140. And we can justify that as a linear pair. I didn't ask you to justify it, but you should know what these are, so I'm going to go ahead and just say them for you. All right, again, We're looking for linear pairs. We got a straight line here, so this side has to be 40 as well. So the measure of angle A equals 40. Or if you noticed, we have vertical angles here. A and E are vertical angles. But I noticed it as a linear pair first. And I don't think I have any more linear pairs, but I do have 3 angles that add up to 180. So if these 3 angles have to add up to 180, and 2 of them already add up to 90, that leaves just 90 for my middle angle. So the measure of angle D equals 90. And the reasoning I would give to that is that we have a straight line, and that has to add up to 180. All right, now these are not connected to those other than the fact that there are parallel lines. So I'm going to kind of ignore this line right here. And this is kind of what we've been doing before, right? We have a straight, I'm going to go and just sketch it right here. You can kind of see here are my parallel lines. This is my transversal. So if I hide this like that, if that's 140, what does I have to be? It's my favorite. Corresponding angles. Well, with the same reasoning, E and J have to be 40. They're congruent by corresponding angles. Now, you could have found it any other, you could have said if this is 140, this has to be 40 because of a linear pair. Right, so let's go ahead and put those numbers in. This is 140. I know this is 40. Now I can find this right here. So the measure of angle H is going to be 40 as well by vertical angles. So I'll put the 40 in there. I can now find G because these 3 angles have to add up to 180 because I have a triangle. So triangle sum says that's 180. So 90 plus 40 is 130. 180 minus 130 is 50. And that's by triangle sum. Or triangles add up to 180. All right, and again, I have my linear pair. So the measure of angle F equals 130. And that's again by a linear pair. Again, I didn't ask you to do those, but I think you should know what those are. All right? All right, if you have any further questions, please ask your teacher. Otherwise, good luck on your test, and I'll see you next time.